All right, man, peace. You know, brothers, when Kyrie Irving first decided that he was going to attempt to force a trade from Cleveland back in 2017, there were so many LeBron James apologists in the media who were trying to construct these narratives as to why Kyrie Irving would want to leave LeBron James. He couldn't deal with the pressure. He was selfish. He was greedy because he wanted his own team. Mind you, these are many of the same media members and NBA pundits who claim that they lament for the days when top NBA athletes were alphas and they wanted their own teams. Well, when Kyrie Irving showed that that's what he was, they tried to attack him. Why is that? Because they've had a love affair with LeBron James ever since he decided to go back to Cleveland. Well, in the aftermath of Kyrie's decision, and let's bear in mind that the main reason why Kyrie Irving decided to force a trade was because he caught wind of the Cleveland Cavaliers attempting to trade him to the Phoenix Suns. They wanted to trade him to the Phoenix Suns and bring back Eric Bledsoe as well as Paul George in a 3-team deal. Kyrie Irving got wind of it and decided that he was going to force a trade on his own, and everything worked out for the best for him. Well, in the aftermath, he's decided to gloat in how well everything has turned out for him as a Boston Celtic, and he deserves it because he truly was thinking ahead. Because as I declared in many of the videos that I made during that time period, it was very obvious what LeBron James was trying to do and why he wanted Kyrie to come back when the Eric Bledsoe and Paul George trade fell through. He needed Kyrie there to act as a good sidekick for him, because that is all LeBron James is about. That's all he's ever been about. That's all he'll ever be about, is his damn self. And he tries to put out this energy of being this magnanimous individual who's so generous, really just to amplify his own sense of being a grand monarch. Well, Kyrie figured it out, I think also with some help from Kobe Bean Bryant, that LeBron James did not care about him at all, was trying to move him along, and that after this year was over, LeBron was heading to the Lakers no matter what. And I believe Kobe knew that already because, Kobe knows what's going on. I'm sure that he spoke to Magic Johnson, and Magic Johnson told him, yeah, we've been talking to LeBron for the last year and a half. LeBron's coming. He says all we have to do is make sure that we give him some decent pieces in the first year. We land a superstar in the second year. We go from there. I'm sure that Kobe knew that. He probably told Kyrie that. But these are things that you can't say on television. Well, once again, Kyrie has decided to exalt in the fact that everything has worked out for him, and he deserves it because he's shown that he's not fearful. He's not scared to go out there and be a decision maker, someone who decides his own future. So great for him. They're going to talk about it, and I'm going to chime in.
As you heard in the SportsCenter update, Kyrie Irving told Bleacher Report that leaving LeBron was the best move for his career. Stephen A., talk to me.
I completely agree. I think that he's going to end up winning a championship with the Boston Celtics. I'm not sure if it's going to come this year, but I do think that he's going to win one, assuming that he doesn't leave, which with Kyrie, you never know what's going to happen with him because he could decide to up and leave if they don't want to pay him his money. But I do think that if he decides to stay with the Celtics, that eventually he's going to win at least one.
Here's what this says. Stars don't necessarily want to play with LeBron James.
Well, shit, I've been saying that for the last 2 years. Where you been? Brothers, you see how many of these so-called NBA experts are finally starting to figure out what I've been telling you for the last 2 years? This notion that all these star players want to play with LeBron James, where are they getting this from? Where are they getting this from? He couldn't drag any of them to Cleveland the first time he was there. When he went to Miami, it was only because one of his boo things, Dwayne Wade, was already there. And they dragged Chris Bosh along. And he was really the second choice because they wanted Carmelo Anthony to come there. And when he went back to Cleveland, Kyrie was already there. And they brokered a deal for Kevin Love. Those are the only stars that he's ever played with. Now, in LA, is he going to be able to draw stars there? So far, Paul George has turned him down. Kawhi Leonard has pretty much turned him down. And also now we see that Jimmy Butler has turned him down. And I stated in the video that I did a while ago, this so-called rumor that Jimmy Butler wanted to be traded to the Lakers had to have been put out either by LeBron James's team or by the Lakers. Because, as I stated, it was completely false. And even the person who was reporting on that story at the time, Brian Windhorst, he said, I have not heard anything about that. So who the hell wants to play with LeBron? Help me out with that. I think that with Anthony Davis signing with Clutch Sports, they may try to force a trade, or they may try to convince Anthony Davis that it's within his best interest to go to the Lakers and have the Lakers trade to the New Orleans Pelicans many of their good young prospects and see if they could team up those two guys together and make a run at the Warriors. But other than that, how many great players have decided, I want to play with LeBron James? I mean, to be quite frank with you, he's too much of a ball hog.
I'm not saying it definitively, but it appears that way. Stars. It's been a long time since D. Wade and Bosh played.
Thank you, sir.
Played with him. And D. Wade is his brother. That's his man. Okay? We understand that. And Pat Riley being there certainly didn't hurt. He goes to Cleveland. Whether LeBron and his camp want to admit it or not, the reality of the situation is that it affected Kyrie to be considered some little brother or whatever the case may be. Now, this is not a knock against LeBron because we all understand how sensitive.
Well, Stephen A. Smith, brother, let's get down to the point. Let's get to the nitty-gritty. Kyrie Irving was not just being projected as some type of quote-unquote little brother to LeBron James. There were certain reporters that were asking him questions about whether he views LeBron James as a father figure. And that has a resonance, that has a reverberation on a lot of different levels, because they were assuming that because he was a so-called young black man that he did not have a real father in his life, number one. Number two, they assumed that Kyrie Irving looked at LeBron James with the same level of veneration as they do in the media. And that just was not the case. So he had to set them straight very quickly, and good for him that he did so. That's another reason why he wanted out of there.
And I'll wait until the season to ask for my graphics to make sure all the laudables are thrown out there for LeBron James so we understand. I am not hating on LeBron James.
What laudables?
Okay, the great actor, director, the philanthropist. I mean, all of this other stuff. I mean, we're going to make sure that I Promise Foundation, we're going to put all of that up once it's in. I'll save it for when the season.
Yeah, I promise to serve Nike.
When the season starts, but you'll see
Recording
that.
artist.
Just like a ticket tape. All of that stuff.
Now, you picked him to go to the Western
listen, I've got him on the Mount Rushmore of the National Basketball Association, and I'm accused of hating on this man. That's how pathetic these times are. But
I agree with you, sir, but we're living in a time period of fanboys. Grown-ass men that are overly infatuated with other men. They believe that you're quote-unquote hating on their favorite man in sports if you don't place him where they want you to place him. It's like when I say that, in my view, Kobe Bryant is not a top 10 all-time great NBA player. He's right outside the top 10. I have him in that same group with Isaiah Thomas and Moses Malone and Dr. J. I don't think that that's an insult at all. But his fanboys get upset. Now, LeBron James is not on my Mount Rushmore. Definitely not. He'd be on the second mountain if they had a second mountain. But on the first mountain, it's Michael Jordan, Kareem, Bill Russell, Magic Johnson. The second mountain would be Larry Bird, LeBron, Wilt Chamberlain, and Shaq. Now, I think that Hakeem Olajuwon was a better player overall than Shaq, but he wasn't as successful. So I can't quite put him there. Now, of course, certain people might say, well, brother, let's be for real. Hakeem never played with anybody as good as Kobe or as good as Dwayne Wade. Now, you'd be right. So that's why I say that from 6 to 10 is fluid and from 11 to 15 is fluid. But as of right now, my Mount Rushmore is Michael, Kareem, Bill Russell, Magic. And I don't see that Mount Rushmore changing.
But that's neither here nor there. Here's my point. Kyrie Irving wanted out. What you have is a situation where the stars want to compete against this man. They don't want to necessarily join him.
I agree. And I noticed that myself. Most of these prominent players, these top-level alpha players, they don't want to play with LeBron. They want to play against him. Now, Damian Lillard was the last borderline great player that I've seen kind of sort of campaign to play with LeBron. But I think that Damian Lillard kind of understands that he's never going to be viewed on the level of a Steph Curry or even a Kyrie.
Unless, I mean, if Kawhi comes or Anthony Davis comes, obviously that'll be a different discussion. But I'm liking this, and I'm loving this quote from Kyrie Irving because he ain't getting into the personal relationship of him and LeBron or whatever.
Well, I think that Kyrie Irving understands that he has no victories if he tries to go personal. Because I'm sure that there are a lot of personal things that transpired between Kyrie and LeBron that he's not really at liberty to talk about and still maintain the energy and the atmosphere around him that he wants to maintain. He doesn't want to get sloppy with it in the public media.
Trying to castigate LeBron in any way, because who knows if LeBron did anything to warrant that.
Stephen A. Smith, you know that LeBron did something to warrant that. That's why you're putting forth, that's why you're postulating that notion right now, brother. You know a lot. You know what went on between Kyrie and LeBron James.
What he's saying is, I understand you a bad brother. I understand you the best in the world. But damn it, I'm one of the best in the world. And here I come. And I want to compete. And I want my own team. And I want to be the face of an organization, as opposed to being second fiddle to you and having to capitulate to all the demands that King James has over a franchise. There's nobody on the Lakers that's in position. Who the hell gonna argue with the cashier and clout on LeBron James? Kyle Kuzma? Brandon Ingram? Lonzo Ball?
Whenever Stephen A. Smith starts to say certain players' names and stretch their name out like that, that means he has no respect for them. Because the last dude that he used to do that with was, what's his name? Kwame Brown. Kwame Brown.
Lance Stevenson. I mean, what the hell you gonna get next? Swaggy P to come back? What the hell's gonna argue with LeBron in LA now? But if you got a mega star up in there who wants to shine, because Kawhi wouldn't want the publicity, he could kill us. He just wants his money to get on the court and play. But if you got...
That's why I believe that there's a possibility that Toronto may be able to win him over, Stephen A. Smith. Toronto may be able to win Kawhi Leonard over.
You got a star who wants shine, wants headlines, wants endorsements, wants the attention, all of that. He don't want to play with LeBron because he ain't getting it.
This is what I take away from what Kyrie said.
Okay.
That Kyrie can't say what he really wants to say. And he comes off lesser than he would like as a result.
In other words, Max Kellerman, you know something. And you've probably been speaking to some of your quote-unquote sources. We know that you've kind of had it out for Kyrie ever since he made that appearance on First Take and he kind of made you look stupid. You've been able to temper some of your antagonistic energy towards him once he was able to prove that he was the alpha that he alleged himself to be. But you still kind of have it out for him, as all liberal Caucasians do whenever a Negro rejects a lot of their nonsense. You still have it out for him. So you did a little digging and you probably found out that, as I alleged many, many moons ago, that LeBron James probably slept with Kyrie Irving's woman, allegedly.
This is what I think Kyrie can't say. He can't say what happened between them personally, and obviously something happened personally. And it's widely known in the industry. It's not like this is a big secret, nothing that you can responsibly repeat, but...
Oh. So now let's listen to what Max Kellerman just stated. He said that what occurred between LeBron James and Kyrie Irving is widely known in the quote-unquote industry, talking about the entertainment industry, because the sports industry is just a branch on the entertainment industry tree. It's widely known, and it's not something that can be repeated responsibly. In other words, what? It's basically hearsay. It's common knowledge, but it's hearsay. It's not something that can be quantified. Let me rewind this back.
But there, obviously something happened personally, and it's widely known in the industry. It's not like this is a big secret, nothing that you can responsibly repeat, but there are things that everyone hears, and Kyrie can't say that publicly, and good for him, and he shouldn't have to.
Max Kellerman stated, good for him, he shouldn't have to. In other words, what? It's very obvious that there was a female involved. And I'll probably be covering this in another video because I will be touching on this sentiment. But a lot of brothers, they like to mix their women with their compatriots, with their colleagues, with their friends, so on and so forth. And you should not be doing too much of that. And if you do, it should not be a female that you have strong feelings for. You always keep your spheres separate.
But he's kind of handcuffed there. Kyrie also can't say, I think, what he really believes, Stephen A. You know what Kyrie really believes? I believe that he's the best player in the world.
Well, Max Kellerman, he should believe that. I guarantee you that the top 30 players in the NBA, they all believe that they're the best players in the world. If we were to look at a Damian Lillard, I guarantee you he thinks that he's better than Steph Curry. John Wall thinks he's better than Steph Curry. That's just how it goes. Andre Drummond, I'm sure he'll tell you that he's better than Joel Embiid. He's better than Anthony Davis. part of that delusion is what allows you to ascend to a high level.
That's why he's such a killer in the clutch. That's why he's one of the best players in the world. Now, he can't say that because he knows he can't prove it yet.
May I respond?
Okay, I'm not done, but go ahead.
I want to respond before you get done.
Go ahead.
Kobe had that same mentality.
That's where I'm going.
Kyrie, listen to that. But listen to this. It's not so much that he believes he's the best in the world right now. He believes he never have an opportunity to prove it.
100%.
Stayed with LeBron.
This is where I'm.
Ding.
Where I'm going.
This
is where I'm going. I wanted to go take it to Kobe Bryant. He's a lot like Kobe, Kyrie.
He's very tight with him.
And by the way, Kobe.
Yes, Kobe Bean is the person who told Kyrie Irving, look, this nigga's leaving. Okay? So you decide what you want to do. But I already know, I've heard it through the grapevine, LeBron is leaving at the end of next season. So either you decide to push for a trade or he's going to leave you in Cleveland with whatever's left. It's up to you.
Kobe had that same thing. You couldn't tell Kobe from the time he was 18 that he wasn't going to be the greatest player who ever lived. Now, he didn't quite get there, but he almost got there. And
not quite. What Kobe Bryant was able to do was become one of the greatest players in NBA history. Nobody in their right mind would try to argue that he was the greatest player of all time, other than the most ardent Kobe Bryant Laker fan. That's about it.
The fact is that mentality helped him, the Mamba mentality, almost get there. Kyrie Irving's not the best player in basketball, and he's never going to be the best player in basketball. But the mentality in him that, yes, I am, or I'm going to be, is going to make him and keep him among the best in basketball. But he can't come out and tell you what he really feels about that. So he's never really able to express himself fully, so it comes out convoluted. And as a result, he loves to tell everyone about how smart he is. Kyrie, your movie looked good, and like that was a real professional situation. Most athletes can't pull off a movie like he did, or
I thought he did a good job. Yeah.
Yes, he did a very good job. That was an enjoyable little flick.
Yeah.
Your move, all the naysayers moving away from LeBron James to another situation. You said it was going to prove your situation. I was one of the naysayers. He proved me wrong, I believe. I'll admit when I'm wrong. He proved me wrong. That was smart. His behavior says he's smart. But when he opens his mouth, he thinks he's doing himself a favor. It makes it worse. The earth is flat, even the way he walked it back. Well, I was in a conspiracy theory stage. He should have just said, I don't know what the hell I was thinking.
This man, Max Kellerman, cannot move beyond Kyrie Irving's assertion that the earth is flat. And it's very clear to me that the main reason why he cannot move beyond it is because Max Kellerman is an atheist. That is why. And many of the quote-unquote flat earth naysayers or people who come against that doctrine or that philosophy, they associate flat earth believers with ardent Bible believers. They intersect, don't get it twisted. But it's very clear that Max Kellerman's beef is with the Bible as much as it is with so-called flat earth. It's very obvious to me. And I'm not sure what Kyrie Irving's so-called religious beliefs are or spiritual beliefs are. But it's becoming more and more transparent that the reason why Max Kellerman hones in so much on Kyrie Irving and all the flat earth stuff is because of an issue that he has with a belief in an almighty deity more than anything that Kyrie Irving has alleged. It is what it is. At the end of the day, the flat earth people, they go off and do their thing, and I'm sure I'll get a couple dudes in the comments, the earth flat dough or whatever. It is what it is, man.
Well, it's a monumentally stupid thing to say.
It's a basketball player.
No. It's relevant because it's important for Kyrie. Obviously, he talks about how smart he is all the time. His behavior says he is. The stuff that comes out of his mouth says he isn't. But the reason for that is he can't really tell you what he feels. That's my take.
Yeah, I also think it's very introspective.
I've never heard Kyrie say, I'm such a brilliant guy.
I've heard it constantly. He tells you how smart he is. I'm a very intelligent person. He won't stop with it.
Okay.
Well, I agree with that. Kyrie will say, I'm an intelligent person. I'm someone who pays attention. At the end of the day, he's 25 years old. It is easy for certain people to get caught down so many of these YouTube rabbit holes because there are a lot of YouTube rabbit holes. There are a lot. I say this all the time. A lot of people on YouTube, they suffer from information overload. And you can tell that it has them bugged out. They're not quite sure what to believe.
Okay. All right.
His behavior says he is.
All right. All I know it's the best move he ever made because he'd be in Cleveland without LeBron regardless.
Ding! You finally got it, Molly Karam. Good job.
with that team, and instead he's in Boston. They get a chance at a chip.
But anyway, that's basically it on that. We'll see how the season turns out for Mr. Kyrie Irving. Peace.